Russian President Vladimir Putin has assured India of continued supplies of fuel and fertilizers amid disruptions caused by the West Asia crisis. Now, the assurance came during his meeting with External Affairs Minister Jaishankar in Moscow. Now, the two sides also discussed trade, energy, nuclear cooperation and emerging technologies.
Jaishankar
also conveyed
and extreme climate events have only underlined.
All right. In fact, viewers, remember that a meeting took place between Jaishankar and Vladimir Putin, Russian president. Of course, Jaishankar in that particular meeting conveyed Prime Minister Narendra Modi's message to Putin ahead of the upcoming SCO and BRICS summit. Remember, a significant meeting taking place over there. Of course, both the sides reassuring the economic cooperation, and of course, Russia has significantly in a statement said that it is going to be continuing to provide fertilizers to India to support India's farmers. I have my colleague Pragati Tripathi for more on this. Pragati, do tell us about this meeting and the statements coming in from both the sides.
Russia has assured India that supplies of energy and fertilization will continue uninterrupted even as the ongoing West Asia crisis disrupts global supply chain. And the assurance comes during External Affairs Minister Jaishankar's meeting with Russian Putin in Moscow that just happened yesterday. And Jaishankar is in Russia for the meeting of the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Trade, Economic, Scientific, Technological and Cultural Cooperation. And this India, which remains heavily dependent on imports for its crude oil requirements on West, has been looking at alternative and reliable sources to insulate its domestic market from these disruptions. And Russia has emerged as a particularly very important supplier for India. The crisis is also reshaping the global oil market, with the countries competing for alternative supplies. And recent data indicates that China has sharply increased its purchase of Russian crude, putting additional pressure on supplies available to Indian refineries. And against this backdrop, Moscow's assurance is very significant for both India's energy security and agricultural sector. Fertilizers are equally important. Any prolonged disruption in global supplies can directly affect agricultural input costs and eventually food prices. The meeting had also had a broader economic dimension. Jaishankar flagged India's widening trade imbalance with Russia, which has increased from around $6.6 billion to more than $50 billion. And New Delhi is now seeking greater access to the Russian market, removal of tariffs and non-tariff barriers, and stronger participation by Indian businesses. And the two sides
Pragati,
are also.
Thank you so much for all of these details. Running short of time, we'll be right back, taking a short break.